Live from the Rant Radio Network, you're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis,
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. You got me there, Mr. Pantalones? All right. Oh, see, I knew it. And to my left here, my broker, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. How are you, sir?
Very good, very good. On this hot afternoon?
Yes. Give us a call, 855-693-4897. Or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com just to start off.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
There we go with the sound effects. In-house today, we have Miss Claudia Contreras from Proactive Escrow. And she will be sharing a good show in store today. She'll be sharing some escrow facts, new RPH stuff going on here coming up in November, and also some other escrow information that she'll be sharing with us. So welcome, Miss Claudia. How are you?
And look who the wind's dragged in, huh? Our lovely co-host, Miss Lisa Lombardi. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It must be nice to take a long vacation.
Live and in the flesh, Miss Jet Setting Playboy, Miss Lisa Lombardi.
I was having a lot of fun over there in Europe. It was very nice.
With all the Italian hunks?
Yeah, there was a lot of good-looking Italians.
I've seen some of your postings there. I was kind of jealous. I was like, look at
you have the floor, Miss Lisa. Please do tell.
Well, I just want to let you know that I had an amazing time in Paris. The churches are unreal. And I went to the Opera House. And I went to the
churches. Wait a minute. You went so far to go to church.
Yes, I did. I actually, to be honest
she didn't want anybody to see her.
That's part of the image thing. That's just part of the image thing. I understand.
And I went to the Eiffel Tower, and in Italy I went to Venice. It was absolutely gorgeous, and I mean everything's on the water, so it was just beautiful. I went to Murano, all the glass there. Got my little glass.
You even have the little accent that went along with that, huh?
And she said she partied with George Clooney.
Yes, I did.
Is that a true story?
Oh, were you on his boat? Were you on his yacht?
Well, they had the Italian Film Festival when I was there, actually. So it was pretty cool to be in Venice, and they had the Italian Film Festival. And then I went to Rome, and it was just...
Did you say hi to the Pope for me?
Yes, I did. I actually went to the Vatican, so it was awesome.
Tell us about real estate in Europe, Lisa.
Actually, you know what's funny is that I did stop at a couple different real estate offices when I was in Paris. I didn't see any in Italy.
AGR and Associates?
No, I didn't, unfortunately.
Hey, show me some respect, boy.
And I actually went into one of the offices, and it was really hard because they spoke French, and we were trying to communicate, and it was very difficult. But it sounds like they don't do title insurance. They handle everything with attorneys there.
The only French I know is a French kiss.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah, Mr. Alonso, Mr. Savoir Faire over here. Give us a call, 855-693. Yeah, exactly. 855-693-4897. If you happen to call in, you can win a $25 gift card to Stevens Steakhouse, located in the City of Commerce. Compliments of Carlos Cruz and the Pico Rivera Chamber of Commerce, or you can win a $200 teeth whitening from Gardens Dental, 7218 Garfield Avenue in the City of Bell Gardens.
Alex,
yes, sir.
You brought up the chamber, but did you hear anything about Bell Gardens? What happened with Bell Gardens mayor?
That's all over the news. The mayor of Bell Gardens was shot and killed by his wife.
Oh, wow.
And it turns out it was over money.
Oh, wow. I thought he got cheating or something.
And actually, I think that's the only real not guilty plea that you can give. If you shoot your spouse over money, you're free to go.
I heard something like that, and I'm you reminded me because once formerly Carlos belonged to the Bell Gardens Chamber of Commerce. So
he did. Well, yeah, he was with the Bell Gardens Chamber, but this is the city council, and he was the mayor. But in terms of ex-wives now, you can't shoot them and have that same plea. It's only if you're married.
Only if you're married there, yeah.
Yeah, well,
does it count if you're still going through the divorce? You legally haven't divorced. You're legally still married, right?
Well, yeah.
So
not anymore.
So
she's widowed now.
I mean, but shoot her before your divorce is finalized,
exactly,
right? And say she took all my money. That's why I shot her.
Well, I guess I heard there was a lot of domestic violence in that relationship, anyways, for a long time.
Now, let's not get into political things there, Lisa. But is that a good reason to shoot your husband?
No, but I'm just saying that there was both of them. I think there was domestic. There was a lot of things going on for years.
It is if he's beating the crap out of you constantly, right?
Well, it's self-defense.
Well, who knows? We don't really know the whole story. It could have went either way.
That's true.
I
Very
will
true.
murder you violently.
Oh my
I will
God.
murder you violently.
This guy is too much. man.
Actually,
Thank you, Mr. Pantalones.
actually, my client was there when the whole thing happened. He told me so.
Did you sell him a title policy?
Well, yes, I did.
Should have sold them
Yes, I
you should have
did.
sold them a life insurance
I know,
policy.
really, exactly.
Well, you're signed right before he died. He was signing the papers, right? Anyway, you can win one of those $25 gift cards, as well as we do support stroke awareness here with Michael Aguilar and Associates, the Real Estate Rant and AGR and Associates. You can log on to www.strokeawareness101.com or email Mr. Michael Aguilar at michaelpaguilar@hotmail.com. So if you give us a call at that number, it is on the screen, or if you happen to be listening, it's 855-693-4897. If you happen to be listening and call in, you can win one of those gift cards. You don't win a gift card for sending an email, but good try anyway. Every week we do the design deal, if you may, Mr. Pantalones. And if you give us one of those emails and happen to have one of those questions come over, Mr. Alonso usually takes care of that. How are we doing on that, Mr. Alonso?
I got a question that came in from Lawrence out of Riverside, but I guess we'll do it after you do your design deal.
That just can go up. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, this question comes in from Lawrence out of Riverside, and it says, "Neighbor just sold his home undervalued. Please help me understand. My next door neighbor just sold their house for $113,000. It appraised for $130,000. Our houses are almost identical. The reason they sold it for so low was due that they were paying another mortgage and had to sell it quickly. They also said that their agent said that the comps were low in the area. My question, if the house appraised for $130,000, could they have asked for this or even close to it, like $127,000, or like the comps ended up to be? Please help me understand."
Are you going to take this one, or should
What the
I?
hell is wrong
I
with
think you should take it since you used to be a formerly appraiser.
Oh boy, I'll tell
the
you
hell
what,
is wrong with
there's
you?
a certain point in your life when you just get so saturated with stuff, and appraisal just happens to be one of those things. If I see another appraisal question, I'm going to puke. But here we go. I'll
need a
answer.
professional
I
here.
will
think
answer it.
I think in this case, the neighbor's
it.
probably pissed off because now he got a comparable now that's for 113 if his house identical to it. So now if he wants to sell his house, they're gonna use that comparable.
Okay, well, I'll give you the statistical and professional view as to what an appraiser should be doing. Not that that's what they do, but this is. Thank you, Mr. Pantalones. This is how an appraiser should be looking at it. Any analysis on a piece of property includes multiple comps, not just one. Because the property is located next door and it's identical, yeah, it's damaging to the sale of this property. Now, there are two things. Only if this person is going to sell, then will it then matter, because that comp will eventually go away. They're only good for about 6 months, right? It's a date and time stamp. But here's the other issue. The other issue is the market. In the market you have what's called mean, median, and mode. Okay, and in any statistical sample, an appraisal should reflect the most predominant information that's in the area. If that 113 sale just happens to be an anomaly, meaning it's on the low end, the appraiser really shouldn't use it as a comp, even though it's located next door and it's identical. So the answer to her question would be no, it shouldn't damage it, as well as the fact that because it's located next door, it's a time frame. If she puts her house up for sale now, she might want to wait 6 months.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But I mean, her question, the question is if it appraised for 130, now the seller wants to sell it for that 130, can she sell it or anything close to 130?
Yeah, because if that appraiser came up with 130, right, then another appraiser more than likely could do the same.
But if he's already in contract, I don't believe you can alter the contract. If they
you're
already
talking about
accepted.
you're talking about the seller.
Exactly, the seller already accepted a
contract
purchase agreement at
113.
113. So now the appraiser came in at 130. I just think the buyers came in with a hell of a good deal. They're getting a home with equity now.
That's a good question.
Because how can you go back? I mean, you already accepted the purchase agreement.
The seller can cancel.
The seller can cancel.
They can cancel for any reason. Now, can they resell it to someone else? Yeah, I guess they could.
Do they have to wait a certain time?
I would have to check that again. The big disclaimer: I'm not an attorney, and there are probably some other factors in the contract possibly that would change that. But the seller has the opportunity to cancel. I mean, on a listing agreement, they can cancel anytime.
Because
Right?
frankly, I'd be pissed off if I found out that my home, appraised for more than my agent told me to list it
Dude,
at.
you're like a teddy bear. You don't get pissed off at anything, do you? Do you get mad?
Well, when it comes to money,
Does he look like a big teddy bear?
Well,
Well,
when it-
anybody would get pissed off.
when it comes to money, come
Yeah,
on, there's people
but
killing their
way of
wives
pissed off
for.
his big smile on his face, right?
He's always.
Yeah, But
Well, it says you got to
You just
you
wanna
got to
squeeze
be
'em.
closer to your enemy. You got to be more friendlier with your enemy.
yeah, well, now
That's
I
why
know,
we're
now
like
I know
good
who my
buddies,
enemies
yeah.
are, right? It's funny that you should mention this because I had a problem with the listing agent recently that actually put something on a counter offer talking about the seller having the right to not agree with the appraisal. And I was like, well, how can the seller do that if they're not trained as an appraiser? They would have to point out the violations in the appraisal or maybe some of the things that were wrong in the appraisal, but not just disagree with the value. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess everybody thinks what their piece of property is worth. In reality, if I own it and it's only appraising at 200,000 and I want 500,000, then that's what I think it's worth.
Yeah, well, the appraisal is really designed as a collateral piece for the bank.
Exactly.
The bank's the one that really owns that appraisal.
And who's us to say that if someone comes in with 500,000 and are willing to pay for it, they're it's not willing to fly. It's definitely gonna be able to fly. That home's gonna be not so how can I say, not so close at heart now, because now we're talking difference. Now I'm getting what I wanted from my piece of property.
So I don't know. Do we answer the question? Was that?
I think we did. I think definitely the
sound
seller
like we
can
answered
cancel.
Well, I just want to add something too. I mean, did that seller interview a couple agents as well too?
Well, that's one of the things. That's
right
one of
there,
the
I
things
mean,
that's a
'cause-
smart idea for a seller to do. Not only go by one person's opinion. Interview several agents and do your comparable analysis yourself. Find out what the market's selling for. We'll be right back. Don't touch that mouse. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant. A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home, at AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.agrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español.
Real Estate Rant and AGR Realtors are proud supporters of Michael Aguilar and Associates, advocates for stroke awareness and integrative healthcare.
In February 2012, I suffered a stroke due to high blood pressure. I was rushed to the hospital where I was admitted for the next 30 days. I was initially told I may have to stay in the hospital for about 3 months, but I made rapid improvements in my recuperation and continued to improve to this day.
When Michael left the hospital, he did not have insurance to cover his rehabilitation, so he focused on integrative healthcare to get better. At the end of 2013, seeing a need for stroke awareness, Michael started his own company, Michael Aguilar and Associates, to focus on creating awareness about the dangers of high blood pressure and stroke.
If you would like more information, please call me at 562-464-7297, or you can visit my website at www.strokeawareness101.com.
Michael Aguilar and Associates, creating awareness and saving lives one person at a time.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. We are back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my broker, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
And not so smart, may I add?
Not so-
Very entertaining.
Where we have no talent, but we know a few things about real estate, and Miss Lisa Lombardi.
Just a few.
Also joining us here, Hello, Lisa.
Hello, hello. I'm glad to be back.
All right.
Did you guys miss
It's
me at all?
not we. I thought you'd be back with the
Fluent
little
in
French
French
accent.
now.
Todo piripi. In house today, we have Miss Claudia Contreras with Proactive Escrow, and she is joining us to share some issues about escrow and things that are coming up fresh in the real estate industry. And thank you for joining us,
Thank
Claudia.
you for having me.
All
It's a
right.
pleasure to be
Before
here.
we get into Claudia, can we do our real estate fund trivia?
Okay, right on.
Alvin, can you air the first pictures, the set of pictures I sent you with the homes? And the question is, what famous 40+ million home has a 60-foot pool with underwater music and a 20-car garage?
My goodness. Is that a real photo?
That's a real photo. It's a real
Wow.
home.
And they got what? They got a whale in there or
Wow.
something?
Yeah, and it belongs to someone famous. So they know that's the question. That's a trivia. It's who does it belong to?
Man, talk
I-
about
I-
if you
I
want
bet it's
sushi, right?
What's the guy's name that owns Virgin Airlines? Looks like
Richard.
he would.
What's it, Richard Brand? Or
No, it's not. It's
It's,
not. But we'll give the answer at the end of the show. But
Where
that's
is
a
it
question.
at? Where is it?
The home is located in Median, Washington, constructed in December 1988, and it opened in 2005.
Wow.
My goodness, man! Try cleaning that house.
Well, you have a couple housekeepers for that house.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Hey, if you're living that luxury, you know.
So that's our question for today, and then we'll give the answer at the end of the show if nobody calls in.
Yes. Give us a call 855-693-4897. You can win one of those $25 gift cards if you get the fun fact, the design deal, or happen to have a question for myself, Alonso, Lisa, or Claudia. Claudia, let's start with the escrow services. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's
Why
do
don't-
it.
Why don't you give us a short introduction about yourself?
My name is Claudia, and I'm with Proactive Escrow, and I've been in the industry for 12 years. I started as a recruiter for a real estate company, and then they moved me into escrow, and I love it.
So it's an in-house escrow since
No.
you're a recruiter, and
No,
It's-
it's an independent company
so
that
it's
I
a
work
DLC. So it's
you
under the
were
DLC.
recruiting for a real estate
for a
agent.
real estate company. yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Are you licensed as well? You licensed real estate agent?
I used to be, and I sold one house, and that was it for me. That's all it took.
Well, at least you broke that glass, right?
So you didn't like that. So you didn't like that big commission you got, because I'm sure it was a big.
The
nice
$2,000, no.
Oh, it was. Oh, wow. It must have been a small home.
Well, you look rather young. It wasn't back in the 70s, that's for sure.
No, it wasn't. It was 2000s. So I started
so
in
recently.
escrow in 2002.
Right on. So, do escrow agents need licenses? I mean, this is just a question that I have.
Yes, we do. We're governed by the Department of Business Oversight, so we are required to have a license, not individually, but our companies are, and we have mandatory, bonding requirements, and we have to have an escrow manager as a requirement. So those are some of the requirements that we need. But we are licensed.
What does escrow mean? What does it mean?
We're the third neutral party in the transaction, and then we're basically the deposit where people deposit their funds and their documents, and we act once we are given instruction and all the conditions have been met, then we are able to close the escrow.
So you pretty much answered my next question is what did they do? What do they do? And that's pretty much what you're telling us.
All these weird words in real estate, huh? Escrow. Who even thought of that?
I have no idea, but
Well, I'll tell you.
It's kind of like street names.
No, it is. No, it is. No, do you guys have to take classes as well too, Claudia?
I've been going the past month. I've been taking, since there's no degree for escrow, there's no college course we can take. I've learned escrow through, escrow officers and managers throughout the years, but I take it upon myself. I'm more proactive, and I go and take escrow classes every Saturday to, pretty much learn what's going on in the industry, in our industry, and how it affects me. So that's what I do.
That's great.
Right on. Give us a call, 855-693-4897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. And if you happen to call in, you can win one of those $25 gift cards. If you have a question for myself, Alonso, Lisa, or Claudia. Claudia, if you can give us just a short thing, because we did cover escrow in a previous show. I want to say it was Shannon. She came on maybe about a year ago. She and a little picture there of our studio audience.
We have a live studio audience
Yes.
today.
Are there different types of escrows?
Well, there's the broker owned and the independent escrows. So
And
base
how are they different?
again, the independents are required to have a license, are required to have, bonding requirements. We go through audits. So basically, those are the differences. The broker-owned don't require a license, and pretty much anyone can work for a broker-owned company. There's no bonding requirement, and there's no license requirement.
So how does a homeowner, a buyer, somebody who's going to use the escrow, how do they know that? Because when you say escrow, I just think it's just one big umbrella, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
if we're the third, the impartial disinterested party. So basically, if it's a broker owned, I mean, you have a broker involved, and basically that he may or may not have an effect on the transaction. So that's what we try to, when we get sellers and buyers, they they want to make sure that we're, independent.
I heard the term that comes out a lot that says DBO. What is a DBO?
DBO is Department of Business Oversight. It formerly was the Department of Corporations that governs
DOC.
the DOC, so now it's the DBO.
So the independent escrows are licensed under the DBO.
Correct.
why do they keep changing these acronyms?
Well, they did
just
it to
like
you
it used to be
guys, the
DRA,
BRE.
BRE, they even did it to appraisers.
Right.
The OREA, I don't even know what it is.
I
now.
just think it gets old and they
Something
need a
else now.
new lingo,
I think
as it isn't hard enough already,
They should
right?
just call it real estate and get it over with. you know?
Acronyms, like
Claudia, so let me ask you a question. I mean, obviously, the agents probably, I'm sure they call you all the time about a lot of things, but do you ever seem to get involved? Like maybe the seller might call you or the buyer and they might get involved. I mean, how does the escrow officer handle something like that?
Well, that's who our principals
Yeah.
are. I mean,
Yeah.
the principals are the buyer and the seller, and that's who we take instruction from. So the agents are the vehicles, that the representatives of the buyer and seller, but we take instruction from the buyer and seller. So I welcome when a seller and buyer call me, because it gives me an opportunity to, because sometimes I never speak to the buyer or seller.
no, and that's
that's
kind of good in
great.
our
Yeah.
sense, because we can direct their questions directly to the source instead of getting it from us. And it's like in elementary school when you play phone line, and you have that big old line, and he said this and this, and by the time it
What
gets
is
to the
phone
end,
line, dude?
you
Oh, you're going around the table.
yeah, they put you in the line and you
been a
whisper
while.
something from one side to the other, and at the end, it was something totally different
Totally
than when it
different.
started.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, in that sense, where she opens, her questions to the principal, then I think that's awesome on behalf of an escrow officer, that they have that direct communication. There's some officers that they don't want to speak to a buyer or seller. They try to direct it through the agent. And I mean, what do we know about escrow? Other
As-
than
as long
other
as it-
that other
yeah.
that we turn in our checks to them, and we're waiting for them to cut us our check.
Where's our
As
check?
long as it pertains to escrow, then that's when we if I can't help them, I'll direct them to title, to their lender, whoever it is that they need to speak to get their answer. I don't leave them hanging, as
Well,
to.
what kind of brings a question though? If you're talking with folks, are you able to take verbal instruction?
I don't take verbal instruction. Everything I take it in writing, via email, but basically I try not to.
Okay.
to
Well, I
do
just
that.
didn't want to get confused with the fact that you're talking with buyers or sellers. The difference between maybe giving them some information versus actually doing some instruction, you actually have to put all that in writing and get their signature on everything.
Correct.
Okay.
That would lead me
And-
to draw an amendment and prepare whatever I need to prepare to make sure that the parties agree and what they're on.
Yeah, not that I'm trying to put you on the spot or
No,
anything.
and,
not
and
at
all
all.
those instructions come in the form of a purchase agreement, right? Because that's where the whole process begins of beginning the escrow.
Pretty much our escrow instructions are don't supersede the contract. So I always direct, the agents or everybody back to the terms of the contract so that they honor those terms. But if it doesn't have anything to do with the escrow, I try to stay, in the background and stay out of it and kind of guide them back towards the.
Pass the potato, huh? That belong to me. There you go. Call him.
Well, you would believe what they try to get me to negotiate and mediate disputes, and basically as an escrow holder, that's not my responsibility or my job. It's beyond the scope of what I do. So I try to push them back to
Send them to a psychiatrist.
the referee, counselor,
Yeah.
psychiatrist.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that in terms of the buyer or seller. When we first start interviewing with these people, they start to pretty much lay out all their problems.
We become their counselors, not just their real estate agent.
So
No,
you
no.
have a couch, and I have my my clipboard with the.
I have
days
my
of-
hourglasses. Like, dude,
Tell
I'm
me about-
getting paid by the hour today.
Exactly. Tell me about your childhood.
Oh,
That's
So what was the
that's how
name
it
of
is.
your
I
first
know.
cat?
That's how it is. I mean, Lisa. Now, when you in your travels, does that happen with agents now? Like the agents start telling you all their problems? And
Oh,
everything?
absolutely.
Right
I
on.
mean, I think like with all of us, we all want that connection with one another, and it's really nice because we all have our problems, and I think even with me, it's great when you get advice from other people about what you're going through in your life. So I think it kind of goes both ways.
Hand in hand, right?
Yes, it really does, and they sometimes figure out my stuff and I figure out theirs. But it's really nice when you have someone that you can really talk to. So I think with my clients, they know whatever they talk to me about is confidential, and want to know what what
Watch
they're
your
going
tone,
through.
boy.
So
You hear me?
I mean, they're like with you guys, with your clients, eventually it's like everybody becomes it's like a family too.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, especially here on the show, we do a lot of interviewing. We do a lot of outline writing, that kind of thing, and it causes that family because we get in sometimes not about arguments, we get in discussions.
I'm
about
having a
things.
moment. I think I'm gonna cry.
Oh, stop.
Right
Well,
on.
We'll be right back. We're coming up on a break. Don't touch that mouse.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
It's one thing to own a business, it's another to promote it. That's why thousands of business owners rely on Monster Marketing Group. Design, print, mail, custom mailers, all for as little as 29 cents delivered. That includes postage. Send to a neighborhood, zip code, or an entire city. With just a simple call, 888-49-MONSTER, you can easily promote your business, sales, events, grand openings, send coupons, and much more.
Your mail delivers in as little as 5 days. No dealing with the mailing list or paperwork. Monster Marketing does all the heavy lifting. Get started now by calling 888-49-MONSTER or go to monsterng.com.
Monster Marketing Group, we deliver, we give you results, we can prove it.
Hello, this is Steve.
Hey Steve, it's Angela. Just wanted to see if you want to go out to lunch today.
I can't right now. I'm trying to find a company to build my website. The guy I was working with vanished and he won't return my calls.
Hey, you should call Infuse. They've helped our company with our website and it came out great. They've been around for almost about 20 years. They have great service and they're very knowledgeable.
I don't have a big budget though. You think they can still help?
Sure, I saw their portfolio. They work on all types of projects.
Is this one of those overseas companies that only communicates through emails? I want to see someone face to face to show them what I want.
Not at all. They're just down the street from you. Give them a call at 562-450-4512.
What's that number again?
562-450-4512. You can visit them at their website at infuse.com.
It's hot out here. I need a drink. Have a mucho macho michelada.
What's a michelada?
Michelada is a Mexican Bloody Mary made with beer. All you have to do is get bucket-sized michelada, open it up, pour it in your favorite beer, and you're good.
What if you don't like beer?
You can use it in lemon lime soda, vodka with lime, or tequila with lemon lime soda.
Sounds delicious. Where do you find it?
You can find it at your favorite store, or you can go to muchomachomichelada.com.
Find us on Twitter and Facebook.
Live from the Rant Radio Network
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my broker, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. And also in studio today, Miss Lisa Lombardi. and we can say this from Chicago title.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our
Yes.
well rested Lisa Lombardi. huh?
Hey, actually, the NARAP convention is coming up in Chicago. As a matter of fact, I heard about that today.
Yes.
Are you going to that? Are you
No, I'm going to go to the one here in LA, right? Claudia?
Actually, Chicago is next year, and
Yes.
Oh, is it next year?
yeah, this year it's at LA Live.
$400 they want for that.
Yes.
$400.
What does it come with? Dinner and champagne or what?
No, those are separate.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
But you are going to get educated. It's all about education.
is that what it is?
Yes.
I don't think I've learned one thing at a NARP event.
That you already don't know, right?
Have you? Well,
that you already don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
You
not
know
so much
what?
that. I mean, okay, so I'm a little bit of a dummy, but not that much. But I mean, they come and they bring banks in and stuff. And
know what? I
give us a
think
bunch of fluff.
You know, but I think with any
I'm just
kind
being
of
honest.
organization with education, I think that you always learn something, and I think that you meet other people that it can help you with your transaction to kind of make. I mean, look how I met you.
But I think that's the real reason why people go to those events is to rub elbows, not necessarily learn.
Come on,
something.
Alex. We learned what creosote was from a chimney man.
Yeah, but that was here on the show.
Yeah, but when you rub elbows, you rub elbows with people that can help you with your transaction as well too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. You know.
Now you and I met actually at right there in La Mirada. It was a house party. It wasn't an event.
Oh, that's right.
It was like an open house
Yeah, but then we reunited.
at the NARP event.
Yes, we reunited.
I thought I recognized you. Reunited. Give us a call, 855-693-4897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. If you call in and give us a question and or get this particular design, Mr. Pantalones, if you will, you can win a $25 gift card to Steven's Steakhouse, located in the City of Commerce. That's compliments of Carlos Cruz in the Pico Rivera City of Commerce. Did I just say that? Pico Rivera City of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce. See, that's what I keep screwing that up. $200
Been eating on that
T20.
sauce lately, huh?
I'll tell you what, I found actually a different one. Instead of JD, there's Evan Williams. It's a bit cheap. It's almost like $15 cheaper, and it's almost the same thing. So you hit a little bit more of the sauce that way, right? $200 teeth whitening at Gardens Dental, 7218 Garfield Avenue. Talking about staining your teeth, right? You get the $200 teeth whitening there in the city of Bell Gardens. You can call in 855-693-4897, and if you have a beef with the real estate agent or listing agent, you can call in and cause those problems, please, because
we'll be glad to add more fuel to the flame, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely throw some more wood on the fire on that one. Claudia is here joining us here, and actually, you can reach Claudia at 323-528-2704. I have that backwards. Or you can email Claudia at proactiveescrow.com. They also are working on a website, so I can give you the website address because this will be stained into the YouTube universe for the rest of eternity. www.proactiveescrow.com, and that should be coming soon. Actually, when I logged onto that, your Facebook page came up, and that's how I got some of that information. Mr. Pantalones, if we can throw her information up there just for a second, you can reach her at this. Do you have any of those escrow questions that we happen to be talking on the show, or other questions? Claudia can answer that for you.
Is that you there, Claudia, on the picture?
It is.
Oh,
It's
so you became an
February.
instant blonde, huh?
As of
You're
the
a
summer,
brunette?
yes.
Oh, okay.
She found the fountain of youth, I think, because you look a lot younger than the picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So, and I wasn't sure if that was you, and I was like, wow.
Is he calling you old? Did you just
No,
call
no,
her
no,
old?
no. I'm saying she looks
It's
younger.
my birthday this month.
Oh, she
So
looks
okay, so
younger
there
now.
she looks 23. Here she looks 17. Right?
Oh,
Take it
okay,
easy.
there we go.
Good
cover up, good comeback.
Right. Okay. So, well, thanks for throwing me under the bus on that one. During the break, we were talking a little bit about communication, and I guess a little bit surprised to hear you were actually the hub of communication now for a lot of the transactions, but you started talking now about people yelling at you.
Oh. Well, I mean, people are under a lot of stress when it comes to buying a home. The buyers are stressed out. I had one client who was going to have a baby, and she didn't know whether to come in to sign loan docs or have her baby, and she was kind of like, what do I do? And I was like, you know what, as a mother, not as an escrow agent, I need you to go have your baby, and then I'll go to your house when you're done having your baby, and we'll take care of it after the fact.
Go
but-
to the delivery room and sign docs there, right?
Exactly. So,
Well, if you go with Chicago Title, they actually send you a notary right to your hospital bed, right?
yeah, but you know, it's a stressful process for either the buyer or the seller, and we try to
Who
make
knows?
them-
They might end up dying, so you got to get that signature before they croak.
No, take it easy.
So-
This is a financial show.
Oh, okay.
All right.
But
We're
I'm
having
sure
too good of a time today.
I
huh?
would think too, though, Claudia. I mean, because I mean, as a title rep too, you know, there's a lot of my agents that will call me that really doesn't have anything to do with title, but they still want me to help them. And which is great is that if I can refer them to someone, you know, I'm happy to do that or direct them in the right place. Does that happen with you a lot as well too?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they have any questions regarding anything that has, you know, to do with the loan or title or you name it, I refer them out. I don't try to not to help them. You know what I mean? I try to be their resource.
Absolutely.
So I get a lot of text messages, you know, phone calls at 9 o'clock at night, or they're going to meet with the seller on a Sunday and take a listing, and they have a question. So I tend to help everyone that has a question.
You don't sleep with your laptop, do you?
I have a tendency to answer my phone and reply to emails late at night. So I do have a tendency to do that.
Speaking of,
No, that's what makes a good escrow officer. They're on top of every little puzzle of the transaction. They want to close it.
It really does.
No, I know. I've known Claudia for a long. I've actually probably known her for 12 years, if not longer. And no, absolutely, I think she definitely does that. And it's interesting because I think when you do business with an escrow officer, it's really important. Like my title officers will always go, "Oh, thank God you're using this escrow officer because they know what they're doing." And like with Claudia, she's always been a professional, so the title officer doesn't have to really direct or go, "Oh my God, they're pulling their hair out," because the escrow officer doesn't know
Makes
what they're doing.
everybody's job a lot easier.
Absolutely. And it makes the escrow officer's job a lot easier too when they have a good relationship with the title officer, so they can make sure that everything's getting done as well too. Am I correct on
Yeah,
that?
definitely. It helps a lot. I mean, to have that relationship with the title officer and basically get on the phone with them and pretty much knock out if there's any, liens or judgments on the prelim that we can handle right away and take care of those things up front versus waiting till the very end.
After all, we do want to close on time to get those checks, right? Because part of it's already spent before we even receive them, right?
I think you mean wire, Alonso. We like
We like
the wires.
wires.
Yeah.
That's $30.
Oh, see, and so now
Charge it to our title rep.
we just got part of the price out of it, right? I have a question. It's something I heard that I usually do on my contracts is I'll put under escrow and title, seller's choice, right? And then recently there's been some companies that opened up called seller's choice, including home warranty, right? And so does that force them to use those services if they see seller's choice on there?
I guess I would, in that instance, you would want to counter back and pretty much, or draw an addendum to clarify that you're using a particular escrow company versus another. So just clean it up.
Note to the listing agent.
That's pretty good marketing, though,
Wow,
right?
that
Seller's
is.
choice is like, wow.
Seller's choice title.
No, seller's choice. I meant for you to use seller's choice escrow.
Yeah, exactly. So now on the contract, so I put seller to choose.
Good
Right.
job.
So
that's
yeah.
good.
So
Seller to
just
choose.
so we get it out in the
See,
air.
that's what defines you as an agent. You're always looking for all the small details. That's what I like about you, Alex.
Well, I get all these listing agents that go around nitpicking and what have you. But so now, do agents have a tendency of sending you all kinds of weird stuff?
They send me items or emails, and they kind of want to CC the whole world and pretty much tell you everything that's going on. And sometimes it's too much information. So it's stuff that's probably going to be handled outside of escrow or after the close of escrow. And yeah, we do get a lot of that going back and forth, or if there's a dispute, we get.
Can you give us like an example when you said like something that's too much information? You kind of laugh. Like, what is too much information that can kill a deal? Or
Pretty much, yeah, too much information. As far
Well, it won't kill the deal, but
Well,
but
I mean,
you just
in-
discard it, right? I mean, it's not. It's
yeah,
unnecessary.
I don't address it.
Reason I asked that is because one time I sat with an attorney, and the attorney had asked me, because it was a situation of time, and the attorney had asked me, hey, did you CC escrow on all this stuff? And some of the stuff I didn't see necessary to CC escrow. I just CC'd the other agent, or sent it to the other agent. And I said, well, no, I didn't. She goes, well, if you CC escrow on some of this stuff, it puts a date stamp, and now you have an unbiased third party that has that information as well, so they can't deny getting it.
Ultimately, the brokers and agents and the buyer and seller are responsible for timelines. Escrow is not. That's not escrow's responsibility. But if you want to CC, me and in the conversation, then I do have. I mean, I know that the BRE is going to require that agents keep copies of their emails in their files, and I do it as a practice, as a best practice for escrow, is to keep all correspondence in my file. You never know.
Yeah, I always keep the electric ones. Now, is there? I think we talked about when we worked on it on the outline. We talked a little bit about a new law that's coming out.
The new law for
agent
agents,
communications,
yeah, for agents communication is going to be effective January 1st, 2015.
And
And
what is that?
basically,
What
you're
is
going
it?
to keep, the BRE is going to require you to keep the email in your file. All emails with agents, escrow, title, you name it, it's
Wow.
going to have to be kept in as a record.
And why is
That
that?
didn't
Why are they
already
doing
exist, Alonso? You didn't? Have you ever heard about that
Nah,
before?
that's the first time it came to my.
So you didn't have to keep your emails or any
I've
communications?
never kept any of my emails. I deleted them
all
right
of
when
mine. All of them.
right when they
And I know
come in,
Patty
I-
keeps them too, huh?
Patty definitely keeps them.
I mean, I was actually glad about that
Yeah.
because she had called
Well,
out Joe on a couple things.
Well, it's because being an escrow officer before, she knew.
We'll be right back. Hold that thought.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotechsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at ProTech. Just reminding you that ProTech Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
Hey, this is Phil from the Three Guys Rant. I'm the good-looking one, in case you're wondering. I'm coming to you today about 90 for life.
There are lots of outdoor activities, but if you're unhealthy, you can't enjoy them. Well, that was us until we found the solution, 90 for life.
What is 90 for life, you ask? Well, 90 is the number of essential nutrients your body needs every day to fight off disease.
So if you're sick of being sick, go to our website, the3guysrant.com, and click on the longevity link today for a better and healthier tomorrow. Looking for some swag? Make sure to check out monsterclothing.com. They got everything from V-necks, t-shirts, hoodies, baby dolls. And remember, custom orders are always welcome and much more. They're just not on the site yet. www.monsterclothingco.com or call them at 888-49-MONSTER. 888-49-MONSTER. Hablamos español. Doo-doo-doo!
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
And your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat.
We are back.
Here at the Towers of the Rant Radio Network, Real Estate Rant. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my broker, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. Here at the Towers of the Rant Radio Network, the foundation.
Who's your daddy?
Exactly. Give us a call, 855-693-4897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. Now, we won't get to your emails here on the show, but we will on subsequent shows.
En toda la boca.
Absolutely. We will get to those questions in subsequent shows. Mr. Alonso researches those. And we did have some fun facts.
Do you want to give the answer now before we get to the end of the show?
There was another one, but yeah, let's give the answer.
All right.
What was the answer to, what was it, the $40 million one?
It was what famous 40+ million dollar home has a 60-foot pool with underwater music and a 20-car garage?
What does that mean, underwater music?
I don't know what it means, but I
As-
seen that.
as
I
you're
seen on that
swimming, you feel the
picture-
vibrations
I
or
seen on
something?
that picture it had like I don't know, whales, and so maybe for the whales or some kind of music in there.
So just in case you want some fresh sushi, right?
Yeah.
I want to live there.
Well, if you want to live there, you got to marry Bill Gates because that's who that home belongs to.
Ah, figures.
Yeah, so that's a home of Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft. Features the latest futuristic computer technology, and it's located in Median, Washington. Constructed was started in December of 1988, and it opened in 2005.
Hey, what does that mean? He's got the clapper?
I don't know.
Turn the lights off and on. I mean, there's an exhibit, and I'm trying to think of where it was. I think it was at Disneyland. There's an exhibit where you could tell the kitchen what to do, and it'll turn the water on, and the lights will go off and on, but you're just verbalizing it. I can't even hear you. I think it is at Disneyland. It's in the Minnie Mouse exhibit, I think. There you go, Mr. Pantalones. Get a mic going, dude. What's up? How come you haven't set that up? We've missed you the whole show. Anyway, give us a call, 855-693-4897. You can win one of those $25 gift cards, although there was another fun fact. You want to share that again, or shall we save that for the next show?
We'll save it for the next show.
All
I
right,
think.
Right
We're
on.
coming out of time, and let's give our
let's give
our
Claudia
guest
some more.
our divine attention and it's her time.
Well, we're going to drag her through a field of broken glass right now, right?
Oh, wow.
All right, yeah. So let's see. Where were we at here? Question now. Coming up in November, I believe, this year, the new residential purchase agreement, otherwise known as the RPA, is coming out. How does that affect us as agents, or what is your
Futureland? The answer is Futureland.
Futureland? Oh, that's in that big where the America Sings used to be. Is that right?
That's exactly where that's at.
And Mr. Pantalones, you know that why exactly?
Because I go to Futureland.
There you go. There you have it. Our engineer is somewhat of a Disney fan.
Well, he has that pink. He has that pink on his microphone. That little pink.
There you go.
I don't know.
That's just because he swings the bat both ways.
Do you remember we had Senator-elect Mr. William Morrison on the show, and I spoke with him the other day. He's actually heading something going against Disneyland about overcrowded amusement parks here with the Senate here in California.
Well, that's why he got the fast pass.
Exactly.
Did you know in Paris there is no fast pass in Paris? The Disneyland over there.
And actually, our very own reporter here from the Real Estate Rant actually visited there to find that out.
Well, let's get back to Claudia.
Yes.
You know about the RPA.
Well, the RPA is changing effective November 1st of this year, and it is 10 pages long now.
So they're adding some more pages now?
They're adding more pages, and now there are separate counter offers for buyer and seller.
Alex, do you remember when it was 2 pages long?
I do remember, and it had that little carbon
the
copy
carbon
thing on the back.
Carbon copy in the middle, and you were done.
So it's got several changes that are going to help kind of streamline it for realtors and for escrow. So I'm happy about it because now the terms of the transaction and the allocation of costs are pretty much in the first 2 to 3 pages. So it looks a lot cleaner.
Nice.
Wow.
Any positive or negative things that you see coming out of that?
Well, for me, it means less amendments to draw because there's a lot of clauses in there already in part of the contract. The negatives, there's the cancellation clause in there that for us as escrow, we would still draw our cancellation instructions, our mutual cancellation instructions, and not rely on the contract by itself. So as cancellation. So that for me as an escrow officer, that's what I would point out. But I guess for the realtors is just taking a course and learning the new contract and what those changes are, because there are substantial changes that are coming.
Now, when you say cancellation, does that mean that now the buyer and seller don't have to sign? to cancel? I mean, if you get a cancellation from one of the parties, you can just
Right. So, but basically, I'm going back to the way we used to do it and not rely on the contract and basically, print out our own escrow cancellation instructions.
so now it's built into the contract.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Wow.
So now they don't have to wait if the seller decides to cancel. The buyer doesn't have to wait for them to sign the cancellation to get their refund
Well,
back.
again, we're going to rely back on our escrow cancellation instructions and not rely on the contract because it could be, there could be a dispute. So,
I have a weird question. Can I bring in my earnest money deposit in pennies? Is that?
no, escrow does not take cash.
Oh my God.
No, and there's some and there's some that won't even
Well,
take
the rolls of
cashier's
pennies.
check.
You know, I'm not gonna bring
No,
them single.
There's
I mean,
there's some escrow companies that they won't even take a check or cashier's check. They want it wired.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, is that
Well-
something that they can request?
Yes, it's basically company policy, whatever the company requires. Some people can put a stop payment on a cashier's check. So
Exactly, and that's
that's
why
what
they
they're
said they needed the
concerned.
wire.
A stop payment on a cashier's check.
Yeah, it still needs time to clear.
It needs time. It needs
It's
about
not like
48 hours
it's
to
not
clear.
like they say it's all cash. They still need to clear it.
Wow. Okay. Have you ever had that happen before, where somebody gives you a cashier's check and it bounces?
No, knock
Yeah,
on
knock
wood.
on wood. I think this is plywood though, but that's all right. Yeah. Wow, that's
Cherry
interesting.
oak.
That's interesting. So now is there anything else changing? Any other changes coming up now? If the RPA is changing, if I can hold on that question real quick, I believe we have a phone call. How are we doing there, Mr. Pantalones? Thank you for calling Real Estate Rant. This is Alex. How can I help you?
Hi, Alex. I'm a longtime listener, and I just have a question actually for you or Alonso.
Okay.
When there is a home for sale and there happens to be the former resident who passed away in the home, is that supposed to be information that's supposed to be told like anybody who comes into the house to say during the open house, or when does that information get disclosed? When is it supposed to be disclosed?
It needs to be disclosed at the time they ask the question. And I think if anyone asks if someone died at the property, then you need to disclose it. Unless they died of AIDS. If they died of AIDS and it doesn't need to be
So it's not
disclosed.
information that's actually told to, it's just not like free information. That's
No,
just
they
given
have
any-
to ask you for
know,
that information. But
Anybody? I mean, the person needs to ask.
No. Well, I think because the question is really
Hello?
twofold.
I can't hear you.
The question, I don't know. Can you hear me there, caller? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The question is really twofold. When does the seller have to disclose that? It's actually a California requirement. It's on a form called the Seller Questionnaire. It's an SPQ that we use as realtors. And that is on question number 1 on there, that the seller has to disclose whether or not somebody's passed away on the property for the past 3 years. So anytime before that, they don't necessarily have to disclose that. So that then it becomes a matter of just researching the property. If something like that bothers you, then I would definitely research it anyway. But the seller does have to disclose that once you get under contract with them. But I think what Alonso was saying is that if you go in, let's say to an open house, and you ask the question, that they would pretty much have to say at that time as well. And it's probably something that they may want to put on the listing, but they probably don't because it's kind of negative advertising.
well, it's going to be disclosed once there's a contract, when the seller provides the seller's disclosure
that disclosure.
to the.
The only time that
But
they
I
won't.
wouldn't disclose it to anyone until there was an actual contract written up.
I mean, it could kill a deal if you don't. But
Well, you're gonna disclose it at the proper time.
Yeah,
I mean, you
now-
wanna keep
There-
also your seller's privacy. I mean,
there is an exception to the rule. Okay, the exception is if the seller did not live on the property. So if they don't have knowledge of it, they can't disclose it.
and also if a seller died of AIDS, it doesn't need to be disclosed either.
And recently, we just found out that if you're married to the person that passed away and you happen to shoot them and it's over a financial issue, then you don't have to disclose that either.
Wow.
That just happened in Bell
Okay.
Gardens. That's a joke, caller. I do. Yeah.
I did hear about that. That's
That
not a
was not a
joke,
very.
Alex.
Well, she's actually out free right now. The wife is out free. She's out on bail.
Well, when we heard about it last night on the news, we were thinking maybe it was the son who did it and the wife that was taking the fall for it.
Oh, you know what? I've heard of that before. Yeah, the
Or
mom.
vice versa. It's going to be one of those situations.
So, did we help answer your question, caller?
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
And caller, if I may, are you hungry or do you need teeth whitening?
Always hunger.
Always hungry. Okay, well, if you stay on the line, my engineer will get your information and we'll send you one of those gift cards. Thank you for calling.
You got it. Thank you so much.
All righty, thank you.
Baba Booey.
All right, Claudia. So we are coming up on time. I just wanted to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And actually, we went through about half of the outline, so that just coaxes us to maybe have another show. If you wouldn't mind coming on again and sharing that information,
I'd love to.
Yeah.
One of the things one of the sayings that I want everybody to remember is that if you remember nothing else about escrow, about the word escrow, remember the concept of the impartial third party, someone with nothing to gain or lose from the real estate transaction.
Exactly.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Nice. So stay tuned. Coming up next, the Three Guys Rant here on the Rant Radio Network. Join us next week, same time, same place, 3:30 on Wednesdays. We'll be happy to answer your calls and your beefs.
En el mismo tiempo y en el mismo canal.
Simón.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Rant Radio. Make sure to join us every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on the Rant Radio Network, where we talk about solutions to your real estate problems.
The views and opinions expressed by the host or any guest on this show are encouraged to be followed up by a professional tax advisor or attorney, as we are not qualified or authorized to give advice in two areas: legal matters and tax matters.